Dr. Lina Rodriguez groaned, her vision blurry and head throbbing. She had been part of an interstellar exploration mission when something catastrophic happened, a sudden gravitational anomaly, a systems failure, or perhaps something more sinister. As consciousness slowly returned, Lina took stock of her surroundings. The ship's emergency systems had failed, leaving her stranded in what appeared to be a desolate, rocky landscape. Her environmental suit was partially damaged, but the oxygen recyclers were still functional. A small mercy in what seemed like an impossible situation. Movement caught her eye. At first, she thought it was a trick of the light, a shimmer in the air, a distortion in the reddish atmosphere. But then she saw them, figures moving with an ethereal grace, their bodies seeming to blend with the surrounding terrain. The alien beings were unlike anything Lina had ever encountered. Tall and lithe, with skin that appeared to shift colors like living camouflage, they moved with a calculated precision. Their movements suggested intelligence far beyond simple animal survival. One of the beings approached, and Lina instinctively reached for the emergency beacon. But something made her hesitate. The creature's approach wasn't hostile, it was curious, almost cautious. "I am Zara," a voice resonated in Lina's mind, not through sound but through a direct neural connection. "You are injured. We will help." Lina tried to speak, but her throat was dry, her body weak from the crash. The alien, Zara, seemed to understand without words. A gentle touch, almost like a telepathic embrace, brought a wave of healing energy. Her wounds began to mend, her strength gradually returning. "Who are you?" Lina finally managed to whisper. "We are the Nixery," Zara responded. "Guardians of this world. Your arrival was unexpected." The other alien beings gathered around, their color-shifting skin creating a mesmerizing display of blues, greens, and purples. They seemed to communicate through a complex language of color and subtle body movements. Lina realized quickly that her mission had transformed from scientific exploration to something far more profound. Stranded on an alien world, with a species that could communicate telepathically and seemed to possess healing abilities beyond human comprehension, she was about to embark on a journey of discovery that would challenge everything she knew about life, intelligence, and survival. "What happens now?" she asked Zara, her scientist's mind already racing with questions. The alien's response was both cryptic and promising. "Now, we learn from each other." As the twin suns of the alien world began to set, casting long shadows across the rocky landscape, Lina Rodriguez understood that her real adventure was just beginning. Survival, understanding, and perhaps something more awaited her in the days to come. Society. Her scientific training proved to be both a blessing and a challenge. The alien tribe's way of life was so fundamentally different from anything she had ever experienced that traditional human understanding seemed inadequate. The Nixery lived in a complex ecosystem of symbiotic relationships. Their bodies could literally change color and texture to blend with their environment, a biological camouflage far more advanced than any human technology. More fascinating was their communal consciousness, a telepathic network that allowed instant communication and shared experiences. Zara, her primary guide, explained their survival techniques through intricate mental images. Their sustenance came from a combination of photosynthetic absorption and energy conversion that defied Lina's understanding of biological processes. They didn't eat in the traditional sense, instead, they drew energy directly from their environment through a complex biochemical process. Adaptation is survival, Zara communicated telepathically. Rigid systems fail. Flexibility ensures continuation. Lina began to understand that human survival instincts, adaptability, curiosity, and problem-solving, were traits the Nixery deeply respected. Her ability to ask questions, to seek understanding, was itself a form of survival strategy they found intriguing. The crashed research vessel became a point of fascination for the Nixery. While they possessed advanced biological capabilities, their technological development was different from human progress. They were more interested in harmonizing with their environment rather than dominating it. Lena spent hours explaining human technology, demonstrating principles of engineering and physics. The Nixery listened with a collective curiosity, their skin flickering with colors that seemed to represent emotional and intellectual responses. One particular evening, as the planet's twin sun set, Zara shared a profound insight. Your species' greatest strength is not your technology, the telepathic message resonated in Lena's mind, but your ability to imagine beyond your current limitations. This revelation struck Lena deeply. The Nixery saw humans not as primitive beings, but as potential partners in cosmic understanding, creatures driven by an insatiable curiosity and an remarkable capacity for transformation. As weeks turned into months, Lena realized she was no longer just a stranded scientist. She was becoming a bridge between two entirely different forms of intelligence. Her survival was no longer just about physical endurance, but about cultural and intellectual survival. The Nixery were teaching her that survival wasn't about conquering an environment, but understanding and integrating with it. Her human instincts of curiosity, resilience, and adaptability were proving to be her most valuable assets in this alien world. "We will help you return home," Zara communicated one evening. "But first, you must fully understand what home truly means." Little did Lena know, her greatest challenges and most profound discoveries were yet to come. Their communication transcended language, existing as an intricate tapestry of emotional resonance and shared mental imagery. Where human communication relied on words, the Nixery communicated through complex emotional and sensory experiences. Zara guided Lena through intensive mental training. "Your human mind can adapt," the telepathic message resonated. "Barriers are illusions created by limited perception." A sacred Nixery ritual emerged, the synapse communion. Here, individuals would connect their consciousness, sharing not just thoughts, but entire lived experiences. For Lena, this meant exposing her most vulnerable memories, her deepest fears, and her most profound hopes. Her first full communion was overwhelming. Generations of human history flooded through her, moments of incredible kindness alongside stark brutality. The Nixery observed without judgment, understanding that complexity defined intelligent species. The Nixery's perception of technology differed dramatically from human approaches. Where humans saw technology as a tool to control environment, Nixery viewed it as an extension of biological evolution. Lena demonstrated her research vessel's communication systems. The Nixery were fascinated not by the technology's complexity, but by the human intent behind its creation, the drive to connect, to understand, to explore. "Your species creates bridges," Zara explained. "Not just between physical distances, but between unknown possibilities." During one communion, Lena experienced something profound. The Nixery showed her how their entire civilization functioned as a single, interconnected organism. Individual actions weren't just personal choices but carefully considered contributions to collective survival. Her human individualism collided with their collective consciousness. Yet, instead of conflict, a new understanding emerged: diversity could coexist with unity. As months passed, Lena realized she was no longer just observing the Nixery. She was becoming part of their intricate social fabric. Her human perspective was both a challenge and a gift to their collective understanding. "You are teaching us about individuality," Zara communicated. "Just as we teach you about interconnectedness." The boundaries between alien and human began to blur, revealing a more complex truth about intelligence and adaptation. The next phase of her journey promised even greater challenges and revelations. Magnitude. An astronomical event threatened their entire planetary ecosystem. A massive solar storm approached, capable of disrupting the delicate energy balance that sustained their civilization. Lena Rodriguez's scientific background suddenly became critical. While the Nixery possessed remarkable biological adaptations, they struggled with large-scale technological interventions. Their collective consciousness, usually their greatest strength, became a limitation when rapid, precise technological solutions were required. Using salvaged equipment from her crashed research vessel, Lena began developing a complex energy shielding system. The Nixery watched in fascination as she worked, her human problem-solving skills creating solutions they had never conceived. Humans create from limitation, Zara observed telepathically. Where others see impossibility, you see opportunity. Lena's design integrated Nixery biological understanding with human technological precision. She developed a multi-layered protection system that could absorb solar radiation, redistribute energy across multiple frequency bands, create a dynamic protective field that could adapt in real time. The Nixery contributed their deep understanding of planetary energy systems, while Lena provided the structural engineering and adaptive technologies. As the solar storm approached, tension grew. The Nixery's collective consciousness amplified both hope and anxiety. Lena worked tirelessly, her human determination driving her forward when biological exhaustion would have stopped others. Your species does not know the meaning of impossible, Zara communicated, a sense of admiration resonating through their mental connection. When the solar storm hit, Lena's shield system activated. Brilliant energy waves crashed against an invisible barrier, transforming destructive radiation into harmless dispersed frequencies. The entire Nixery civilization watched in collective awe as human ingenuity potentially saved their world. For a moment, the boundary between human and Nixery blurred completely. They were no longer separate species, but collaborative beings facing a universal challenge. As the storm passed, a new understanding emerged. True survival depended not on individual capability, but on collaborative innovation. The greatest tests were yet to come. What began as a desperate survival situation had transformed into something far more profound, a bridge between two fundamentally different forms of intelligence. The solar storm incident had changed everything. Lena's technological solution had not just protected the Nixery, it had fundamentally altered their perception of technological innovation. Zara, her primary guide and connection to the Nixery collective, shared a final, critical insight. Humanity's greatest strength is not its technology, the telepathic message resonated, but its ability to imagine beyond current limitations. The Nixery had discovered something revolutionary through Lena, the power of individual creativity within a collective framework. Her human perspective challenged their existing understanding of problem-solving, introducing concepts of individual innovation that could benefit the entire collective. As preparations for Lena's potential return to Earth began, both she and the Nixery understood that this was more than a simple journey home. She was now a messenger, a bridge between human and Nixery understanding. The Nixery gifted her with advanced communication technology, not just a device, but a living, adaptive system that could translate their complex telepathic experiences into human comprehensible data. Your mission, Zara communicated during their final communion, is not to explain us, but to expand understanding of what intelligence can be. Lena realized her 2-year journey was about more than survival. It was about demonstrating that intelligence is not defined by biological form, technological advancement, or communication method, but by the capacity to adapt, learn and grow. As she prepared to potentially return to Earth, Lena carried with her not just scientific data, but a transformative understanding of cosmic intelligence. The Nixery had given her more than survival, they had provided a new perspective on existence itself. The universe, she now understood, was far more complex and interconnected than humanity had ever imagined. Her journey was ending, but a greater exploration was just beginning.